Hello and welcome to Talk to Downtown. My name is Courtney Wood. I'm the Economic Development Director for the Downtown Stockton Alliance, the 501c6 nonprofit property-based business improvement district serving downtown Stockton. This series is intended to connect our business owners, property owners, visitors, and residents with the organizations, people, and resources which impact our community. Today we have special guest Matty Amon. He is the Vice Chair of Huddle Cowork and Create, as well as the founder and CEO of HuddleAI. He's very involved in downtown Stockton, so I'm really excited to chat with him today. We'll begin by having Matty share a little bit about his background and how he came to be such a big advocate for downtown Stockton. Then I'll go through a list of questions I've outlined for him, and at the end we will open it up for viewers. So if you do have a question, please type it in as a comment and we will get to it towards the end of the live. With that, welcome Matty. Thanks so much for being our guest. Please tell us about yourself, your background, and how you came to advocate for downtown Stockton.
Thanks for having me, Courtney. What's up, everyone? My name is Matty Amon. A little bit about myself. I was raised here in Stockton, the eldest of 5 kids in a Filipino and African-American household on the South Side. Growing up in a big family taught me early on about responsibility, resilience, and the importance of community. My journey has always been rooted in creativity and connection, whether through the arts, nonprofit, leadership, or building spaces where people feel like they belong. Downtown Stockton, for me, has always been more than just a place on the map. It's the heart of our city, the energy, the history, the culture, the people who are really shaping what Stockton can become. I've seen both the challenges and the potential. And instead of waiting for change to happen, I've wanted to be a part of creating it. That's why you'll see me involved in so many different ways through events like the LYTE that give artists and community a stage, through murals and cultural festivals that bring life to our streets, or even through pushing for innovation and entrepreneurship downtown with projects like HuddleAI. Each piece is really about the same thing, helping people see Stockton, and especially downtown, as a place worth investing in, worth our time, our talent, and our love. So when people call me an advocate for downtown Stockton, I see it less as a title and more of a calling. I want to make sure the center of the heart of Stockton reflects who we are: diverse, resilient, creative, and full of possibility. So that's kind of in a nutshell of who I am and why I'm here and why I do what I do.
That's beautiful. And for anyone who knows you, Matty is involved in so many projects here in downtown Stockton and has been for many years. So we're going to dive into each one of them one by one. So why don't we kind of start with Huddle? Tell us, what's Huddle Cowork? What's the origin of this business, and how did it come about, and how has it evolved in downtown Stockton?
It's so fitting, and the stars are aligned kind of doing this and being able to talk about Huddle. Before I talk about the ins and outs of the space, I do want to take some time to acknowledge the founder of Huddle, Tim Egan. He will be celebrating his life this weekend. It's been 10 years since he passed away. So anyone watching this and wants to pay homage to Tim and his vision for downtown and the work he did before he passed on, the Catalyst in Midtown Stockton on Yosemite Street is graciously opening their doors for some time to reflect and be in community with each other. So check out the Catalyst. You might see some flyers going around and stuff, but to be able to be on this podcast today, where our community is coming together after 10 years to celebrate Tim's life, it's quite fitting, right? And it was unplanned, which is great. So we can't talk about Huddle unless we talk about Tim and acknowledge him and the work that he did. I only was fortunate to meet him literally once, right? And it was in August, the August before he passed away. And so when I found out about his death, I was like, wait a minute, didn't we just meet this guy a couple of weeks ago and he's no longer with us? But he did leave some huge shoes to fill, right? And which brings me to these size 25 shoes of Huddle, right? Back in 2016, there were some people who saw something in me I didn't really see in myself, and thought I'd be a great fit for Huddle. I didn't know what a co-working space was, so I had to research what it was. And over these past going on 9 years that I've been a part of this space. So many great things have happened here. I've met so many great people, and I wouldn't change this opportunity for the world. It's been a catalyst for me to build deeper roots within my community and kind of, hone my skills and my love for Stockton on a larger scale, and be able to, just have access and create space for folks who are just like me from this community, and then being intentional about building a bridge for folks who aren't from here that want to figure out a cool way to get involved. So it's been great to be kind of a wayfinder for folks in that capacity. But Huddle's been part of my life, a big chunk of my life for the past 9 years, and we do so many things here, which we'll probably dive into in a second. But that's kind of how I got involved in this, and it's been 9 years. We built a legacy here, and the intention is to create something with a strong foundation because I can't run it forever. But hopefully, this is something just like our building that we're in that lasts and sustains past us being a part of it.
100%. Thank you for the background and the summary of how you got involved. And Huddle Cowork, it's really one of those downtown businesses that we can point to and say, wow, like there's such a cool success story. Can you tell us more about the services that you guys provide?
Yeah, so we're kind of like a catch-all of services. We're a co-working space essentially, and that model is providing private offices, space for people to get work done, conference rooms, event space, podcast studio, photo studios, mailbox memberships for small businesses. And that's kind of the crux of our business model. But it's evolved over these past 9 years. Our motto is everything is a yes until it's a no, right? People will come to us and say, hey, can we host this here? Or do you guys do this? And, we look at each other, our team, we're like, we don't, but maybe we can, and we weigh all the pros and cons. But I'm proud to say, there hasn't been a large amount of no's in this past 9 years. So, essentially, this place is for the community. This space has evolved because the community has told us what the community has needed. Early on, we took a stance of, we're just providing the space. You guys tell us what to do. Like we don't want to think we have all of the answers of what our community needs. So. I think we did a pretty good job of literally having an open door policy for people to come in, chat stories, and just think about how they can utilize this space to better themselves, their family, the organizations, their business, anything, right? And but essentially, it's just it was those basic things I listed, and everything kind of just branches off from there. And can you tell us a little bit about your rates? You have monthly rates for different things. Yeah, so I'm proud to say over the past 9 years, we've only raised our rates twice, right? And so spaces that mirror us in Sacramento or the Bay Area, they're probably triple or quadruple amount of the rates that we charge.
Increase.
Because we want to make sure that we're meeting folks where they're at, right? We want to be affordable. We don't want this to be a burden on folks. We don't want being a part of Huddle to be detrimental to your finances or anything like that. We want to be able to enhance it. We want to make sure it's affordable, right? So one of my favorite questions to ask people is, what's your budget? You obviously want to be a part of the space, but we don't want finances to be that barrier of you becoming a part of our community. So to answer your question, so our rates start at $35 a month just to utilize the space for the day, and there's no time limit or anything like that. So if you come in at 7 a.m., you can utilize the space for the entire day, right? And even though our team is only here until 5 p.m., we don't kick anybody out because the door closes behind you and locks in the lobby. And then from there, we have a mailbox membership, which runs $100 a month. And that gives you access to our address as a small business or organization to have your mail sent here. And it's pretty simple. You can come and check it whenever you want during business hours, or you can give us a call and just say like, hey, can you check my mailbox for me? And I'm like, all right, cool. You have millions, right? And then, packages sent here or anything like that. So, and I want to say, like, in terms of like the amounts of businesses and organizations that are part of the space, that's our most popular membership. We have many entities that utilize our space as their business address, which we can get into in a second. And then from there, we have our coworking membership. So these are for folks who just want to utilize our space, our open areas Monday through Friday during business hours, and that runs $250 a month. And then we tack on an extra $100 a month in the event if anyone wants 24-hour access to the space. And downtown Stockton, Huddle, like past 5 p.m., past 6 p.m., a lot of great features. Parking is free. It's quiet downtown. The vibe is a lot more chill. I highly recommend it. And then we have we jump up to our private offices. Our private offices range from 150 square feet all the way up to 400 square feet, and they start at $700 a month. And they're usually on a 1-year commitment, and after the 1 year, it's month to month. And this is something that we usually work with folks on. Right. So someone will come in, they have a great idea for a business, or they've been working out of their home, and they're like, I need a private office. And I'm like, okay, pump your brakes. You don't want to see failure, because your cost to run your business is going up, and if you now that you have this office. So we ask people where their budgets are. We meet them where they're at. After a great conversation, sometimes we'll do like tiered pricing to meet folks where they're at. But we have 27 offices in this space, all great views of downtown Stockton. People receive their private offices as an empty blank canvas with its clean, bright white walls. We do have loaner furniture in the event if anybody needs that. But ultimately, we tell people, like, your office is a blank canvas, because whatever aesthetic or vibe or stank you put on your office adds to the overall aesthetic of our building. Right. So some of the folks in our space have some really dope decorated offices, and it's that kind of their space, their home away from home. That's where they feel comfortable. That's where they feel creative. And then just like an apartment, like once folks like matriculate out or graduate to a bigger space or something like that, it has to be wide, have a security deposit, and all of that standard. Right. But that's kind of. That's the main crux of our rates. And then we hop into kind of like the branches of it all. So we have a podcast studio, we have a photo studio that start at $40 an hour. And if anybody wants to rent those out, you can find us on Peerspace. For those of you who aren't familiar with Peerspace, it's a space for folks looking for photographers, spaces to do photo shoots. And we've been on there since COVID, and we've been pretty successful on there. We've been rated the highest rated boutique photo studio and podcast studio in the region or in the area. And we're a power host, so that's something to be proud of there. And then on Peerspace too, you can rent out our event spaces. So we have the first floor, which there's like a cocktail area, open event space with the stage. And we also have our second floor community room that can be rented out. And those are $150 an hour. And we only charge for the length of the event. We don't charge for setup and takedown. So if you have a 2-hour event, only $300, but you can come in 4 hours before to set up. Like if there's
that's nice.
There's no like in the event if there's no like conflicting like schedules or anything like that. But now that I think about it and saying it out loud, we have many branches of revenue in the space, and because that's like kind of evolved over the years, but we find that everyone needs us in one capacity or the other, and we're happy to be able to fulfill those needs.
Thank you. So your prices are really affordable, and it's just so cool how you have options for entrepreneurs at various stages, because you're right, someone might just have an idea, and it can be pretty daunting to take on a full lease, for a full office space when you're just starting out and taking on that cost. And it can really be a detriment to your company as you're beginning it. So having those options of, being able to just drop in and pay that price or, have some kind of just shared space rather than having to do a full lease like that, it's just awesome. And it's exactly what our community needed and continues to need. So I know that oftentimes people do call us, they're starting their business, they need an address for their business, and they always ask me, like, well, I don't want to use my home address, what can I use? And like you mentioned, I do always refer them to Huddle because you guys have that service. So can you tell us a little bit more about how someone needing a business license and needing a business address can use you guys?
Of course, that's a great question. It's super simple, right? I don't even know if the city allows you to utilize your home address as your business address anymore.
Right.
That might
Depending,
that might have changed. But we're the answer to that problem. It's super easy. It's like a 1 to 2 page form. We don't ask for your blood type or social or anything. Just feel free to email us at hello@huddlecowork.net, or you can pop in and just say, hey, I need a mailbox because I need to get a business license. So that takes it a step further. So there are folks who are already established in the city, or they're established with the state, and they just need like a Stockton address, right? Just for their business. And then there are those folks who actually need the address to actually apply for the business license. We found that people were abusing that in the past, and we have a great relationship with the permitting department that if anyone ever tries to use our address as their business address, they need an approval letter signed by one of our staff members here. And so what a great conversation and communication. Once we learn that they'll need it for that, right when we sign you up, we give you the approval letter for you to be able to hand over to the permitting office. And then the permitting office usually mails it back to us, just letting us know that this person actually went through the whole entire process. It's quick, it's easy, it's painless, and it's effective. So we were happy to say we have about, if I had to guess, maybe 250 entities who utilize our space just as a mailbox for their businesses, and I've learned within the community that that's comparable to a lot of the chambers that are in the area. So yeah. So I'm happy that we're able to serve our community in that capacity, our local entrepreneurship community.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So if you are in need of something like that, definitely get in touch with Matty at Huddle. You mentioned that you do have spaces available where people can, maybe host an event. Do they have to be a member of Huddle to do that?
No, not at all. There are some perks and discounts if you are a member, because we want our members to want to utilize our space whenever they need to. But no, you don't have to be a member. You can hop on it, or you can hop on a call with us. You can email us, or you can pop in and we can check our availability. Anytime you reach out to any of us on any platform, you're going to talk to a human being. We could easily have this electronic system where you book it on your end or whatever like that. No, but we're firm believers that we don't want to lose our humanity to technology. So you're always talking to a human being, if it's email or calling us or on social media or something like that. But to answer your question, no, you don't got to be a member. But if you having an event here and utilizing the different things that we have to offer inspires you to become a member, cool. That just means when you utilize it again, you may get some discounts. So
it may make it a little easier for you to pay for it, but it's still affordable for anyone needing a space like that. So it's very cool. And the spaces at Huddle are very modern. It's cool the way you guys are designed. It's just very, very hip.
Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of my baby, right? Me personally, I want to be in the space that's inspiring. Like everywhere I look, I want to see something cool or beautiful or inspiring, right? And so, I've taken some extra meticulous, intentional care on curating pieces, curating local art, making sure the space feels cool and different than any other space in Stockton, but at the same time, the art that's reflected in the space is a direct reflection of who we are as a community, right? So a lot of Black and brown folks, a lot of local artists, some muralists, all of that, and people who, have seen these people within our community and are doing great things. And the space is forever evolving, and there's plants everywhere. Having live plant in the space is kind of a test to, if people are taking care of their plants, that means they're nurturing the space, right? And that's just my thing. If the plants are alive and thriving, that means the humans in the space must be alive and thriving too.
I agree. And right now, do you have any offices available? Do you have any openings for people to sign up?
We do have a handful available. We had a big tenant find a new space closer to the malls. Have some large and extra large offices available on our fourth floor. And they're on the side of San Joaquin and Weber. So when you look out your windows, you see the admin building, you see the courthouse, you see Zyder, and you just see the heart of downtown alive up there. Yeah, want to come, check it out, take a tour. You don't need to schedule anything, just pop in and like, hey, saw you on a podcast and I heard you have some offices available and we're us and our team, or I just need an office for myself. Can you show me around? And we'll stop what we're doing and we'll show you around. But yeah, we do have a handful of offices available, but they're going fast. You know, summertime going into the holiday season, the winter season is kind of a hot time in the city. People want to be in a new space leading up to the new year. So I urge you to get in ASAP. We do have a list of people who are shopping the offices right now. And if every one of those people say yes to us before the end of the month, we'd probably be at a 98% capacity. So we're in a good position right now.
Very cool. So get in now. Talk to Matty as soon as possible if you're looking for permanent office space. So I know that Huddle, sometimes you host workshops there. And do you have any upcoming workshops that you'd like to share about?
So we, as Huddle, haven't hosted any workshops in a very long time. We were one of the first entrepreneurial workshops called Entrepreneur Lab back in the day, but all of these great organizations started doing their own entrepreneurial workshops. So now we just become a wayfinder, and then we are a host for folks who need a space to host their workshops. The one that's off the top of my head right now in terms of just like the workshops that happen, if you are part of the indigenous population, right? The Indigenous Peoples Adjustment Program, or IPAP, hosts a drum circle once a month here on the first floor. So for folks who are Indigenous within their own community and want to get more in touch, especially the youth, there are drummers that come in, there are dancers that come in and they teach about the regalia and they teach about the history of the Indigenous peoples here in our community. Look up IPAP online. I think they have a website now, and and I think that's coming up next Thursday. And next Thursday. And they've been doing this for the past couple of years now, and it's so inspiring to be able to see all the young Indigenous people in our community learning about their culture and their ancestors. So check it out if you have some time.
Definitely. Thanks for sharing that. What time is that event? Do you know?
That usually starts around, I think it starts at 6:30 or 7. They don't go too late. It's usually potluck, so they'll do like fry bread and stuff too to get people, like, introduce folks to Indigenous cuisine. But I think right now it's strictly for our Indigenous community. And then they do have plans to open it up to the community at large very soon. But their main focus is making sure that there's a safe space for the Indigenous community in our area to learn about where they came from.
Very cool. And is that every Thursday or is it once a month?
Once a month they come in. Yeah, and they've been doing it for the past I want to say past 3 years now. And they have folks that come from all over California to come and talk stories and share about the history of their culture.
That's very cool. Thank you for sharing. And I was going to say, I've never heard it, so it must be at night. So now I know it is.
Yeah,
around 6 p.m. It's like after hours.
One of these days, you'll hear the drums and stuff. It's really cool. The first time I had it, I was lucky enough to be invited to sit in on the drum circle and drum with them. So that was inspiring because I gravitate towards those videos all the time. So that was really cool for me.
How beautiful. So Huddle has been operating now for over 10 years. What can you say is the secret to your success?
Man, the first thing that comes to mind is our authenticity, our consistency, our affordability. Surviving COVID was probably one of our biggest feats, and we thank all of the nonprofits who were part of our space during that time. Making us a part of their budget, helping us keep the lights on, so we are indebted to you. Thank you so much. You guys know who you are, but Yeah, I think it's the energy that we're intentionally putting out into our community. I mean, sometimes we're getting by on the skin of our teeth, and then sometimes we're rolling in it, right? But with any small business, we still consider ourselves a small business. It comes with its challenges, but I'm just extremely grateful that we're about to celebrate. What This year it's 11 years Huddle has been open, because I opened its doors in 2014, and yeah, hopefully we can celebrate another 5 to 10 in the future. And then maybe it's not me, maybe it's a new entity, or a new Matty-esque person who cares about the community that I get to pass the torch to. Eric and I, we've held it down this long, but maybe there's people who've been watching us and seeing what we're doing. I guess if there's anyone out there, who is thinking about starting your own space or running your own community or just like a creative space, you don't got to reinvent the wheel. Maybe you're that person to help us take Huddle to the next level. But the secret is it's the people, right? It's the energy here. Yeah, we have cool decorations and all that jazz, but the best decoration I see is the folks who utilize this space on a regular basis. It's diverse in every sense of the word, generationally, ethnically, demographically, and I love it. I get to come to a space that is a direct reflection of our city, right? And not a lot of folks are able. I won't say we're the only ones, but not a lot of folks in Stockton get to say that, but hopefully more get to say that in the very near future.
Yeah, we really consider Huddle one of downtown's treasures. So we definitely love you guys and what you're doing. Do you have any plans to expand Huddle? You were saying you're looking for maybe someone interested to help or help it grow. What are your plans?
Well, we haven't. The last time we had this conversation about expanding was pre-COVID, right? Like literally like that January or February of 2020, we were talking about expanding and having satellite offices in different cities and stuff. And we were busting at the seams, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's people everywhere, right? So we're in 2025 now, and it's taken about three years to kind of find our footing again. During COVID, Eric and I didn't own the business. And so we've only owned it for 3 years now, and we started at $0. So full disclosure, like when we bought the business, part of our agreement was, okay, here you go. Build it from the ground up, right? Like,
cheers.
There was like a whole new race, right? But even though we've been working in this space for, at that time, 7 or 8 years, we were still considered a startup, right? In terms of the city and the paperwork and stuff. So as of right now, with our agreement with the building owner, like we want to see how far we can get with where we're at right now, financially, right? And we luckily we're finally profiting, which is great, but it won't be until my team can buy a house, like
there you go.
We can buy a house and the team is having babies. That's a sign that like we're doing pretty good, and then that's maybe we'll expand that way, And but as far as having satellite offices in Stockton, it was always it was still part of the dream, and it falls in line with meeting people where they're at. But at the same time, I like being kind of a beacon for folks to come to downtown Stockton, right? I like being one of the reasons people come down here, because there's so much great things that are already happening, but at the same time, there's so much potential, right? And anyone who comes and visits downtown Stockton, if they're coming to Huddle and they take a lap in the area to see what's in the vicinity, and they look up and around and see the people and how vibrant it is, maybe that'll be the moment they get inspired to figure out maybe this is the space where I'm supposed to open my business or my organization or host an event or a festival or something like that. And if that comes to fruition because they just took a trip down to Huddle real quick to work for the day, then our job is done. But in the immediate future, no, but maybe a 5-year plan, possibly.
Awesome. Looking to the future.
Yeah.
All right. So you also have kind of branched off from Huddle and all the success that you have there. You have something new called HuddleAI. Can you tell us about that project?
Yeah, so how I came about to be in, I guess, a tech CEO now, which is kind of weird. Some people a lot smarter than me approached me about an idea. So these coders and developers and designers, they wanted to talk to me about what I think a pain point is. At that time, I was already utilizing AI and getting familiar with it. And when I saw the opportunity to create something that would compete with the Goliaths in the AI world, I was like, okay, let's just jump without a net. It felt good, the timing felt right, and there was an opportunity to create something special, and we did. So 2 years ago, our team and I, we started Huddle AI, and of course, the idea of what it does has evolved over these past 2 years, but we finally found our footing. I want to say about a year ago, our model was accepted into the Microsoft for Startups Founders Hub because they saw what we were doing and what was built on, and they believed in us. So to have the backing by Microsoft was rad, right? And I wrote down some key points just to give folks an idea of what it is. It does so much, but the crux of it all is Huddle AI is a way for individuals and organizations to truly talk to their data. Okay? It makes complex information simple and actionable, giving people more control and clarity. Unlike the other platforms, like the popular ones that we see on our algorithms and stuff, and mind you, we're not trying to be like them, okay? Huddle is built around privacy, offline accessibility, and environmental sustainability, okay? So to take a deeper dive into that, our targets are folks who are small businesses, individuals who want to utilize AI to be able to organize their data. And the best example that I can give you is for our Star Trek fans out there, right? The computer, right? When anyone on Star Trek talks to a computer, they're able to say, hey, computer, give me this information, right? But how does computer get all that information? The computer gets information from all of the logs, captain's logs, all of the logs that are fed into to computers. So it's just this plethora of information, right? But it feels light and airy and easy and accessible, right?
Yeah.
So that coupled with over the 2 years figuring out, just the conversation around AI, what are the downsides of AI, what AI is doing to the earth, is AI just spewing out what's already on the internet, So we talk about all of those things and wanted to be the antithesis to all of that. So first thing, built around privacy. So the one thing about Huddle AI is that you own your data. So anybody from an individual to an enterprise, they own their own data that they put into that. So there isn't somebody on the other side, like some of these bigger AI companies who are just gathering all this information for their own use, right? We've kind of gotten to this point to where oh, I don't care if my data is out there anymore. But what if you do care? There are people who are afraid to even use technology because they're afraid someone's going to use it for their own benefit. So we've designed it so that I think about the parent who wants to finally let their child use AI, right? And just imagine if you start letting your child use AI at 5 years old and they're using Huddle AI until they're 35, they own that, their child owns all of their own data for their entire life. And if they choose to do so, because they have proprietary ownership over it, they can sell it to a conglomerate hey, I'll sell you my data for 3 months. I'm going to need it back, but you only have access to it for 3 months, right? So we want to give people the power to be able to sell their data if they want to, but also just keep it to themselves if they so choose to. So privacy was a big thing for us. Offline accessibility. So with Huddle AI, you don't necessarily have to be connected to the internet in order for you to use it. One of the first questions one of our DEMs, one of our developers who utilized HuddleAI for our beta testing, the first question it asked HuddleAI was, are you connected to the internet? And HuddleAI spoke back and said, nope, I'm not connected to the internet at all. The more information you feed me, the more knowledgeable I become, right? So that's a key thing. So it's not just scaling the internet to be able to give you information. And then lastly, environmental sustainability, right? Like AI right now is hurting the earth because the amount of water is being used to cool these plants. So we are utilizing a technology that is used in other facets, but it's good for the earth, right? I won't go deeper into that. I'll let my tech team talk about that. But if you have more information on how we're helping the earth, feel free to reach out to us, okay? So that's just one part of HuddleAI. The second part is for developers and designers. So Huddle also offers flexible APIs. And this is kind of like the building blocks of building an AI platform. The building blocks to create tools, apps, and workflows that go beyond today's large AI platforms. So our platform in which HuddleAI is built on is comparable to all the big wigs out there. For those who speak AI jargon, it's not a wrap, it's modular. It's able to attach onto different things that come up with AI now. It's for developers and designers. It's not for the everyday user. If an everyday user saw this platform from a designer's and developer's standpoint, they're like, what the heck is this? But it's the same foundation that these larger conglomerates that have billions and billions of dollars are built on, and it's here in Stockton. So where we're at with HuddleAI now is we're seeking users, we're seeking huge Give me 1 second, guys.
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead. We'll just give Matty a second. And while we're waiting, I want to remind everyone that this video has been streaming live. So it's been streaming live to the Downtown Stockton YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn pages, where we are at Downtown Stockton. So please, like the video, follow us, or become one of our subscribers on YouTube, and share the video to anyone who you think might benefit from this information.
I'm back.
I think Matty's back.
Still running a space here. Yeah.
You're busy. You're running it all.
Yeah. So where was I? Yeah. So call to action, like we're looking for users, we're fully operational, and then we're looking for developers and designers to help build out if they want to utilize it in that direction. But feel free to reach out to me, our devs team. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on LinkedIn. But yeah, we're in it. Stockton has the potential to be the epicenter for tech, and we'll just see where it goes. We're jumping without a net. So.
Very exciting, everything that you're talking about. Can you share the handle? Is it just at HuddleAI for that?
Huddle-AI.com.
Perfect. Okay, let me know if this looks correct, and I will change it. If not,
that's
okay.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, good. So if you guys want to learn more about that work that Matty's doing, just check it out right there, the website. It's very exciting to have this kind of tech here in Stockton. Why do you think that this is such a beautiful opportunity for downtown Stockton?
Man, well, there's so many huge orgs. I mean, we're right across the street from the county. We have the city right down the way. It's an opportunity for our city to be more tech focused. Right? There's so much history here. I'm sure there's a bunch of documents in a box somewhere in a basement. But how to streamline all of that and make it more accessible. We figured out a way to make it easy for folks to upload data onto HuddleAI. And there's nothing like this that exists here yet. The fact that something is born here that's comparable to what's happening in Silicon Valley and beyond, it's hard for people to wrap their head around at the moment because it's so brand new. Sore little subject, I've reached out to a lot of colleagues and people and people that just aren't ready. People aren't ready right now. And where we're at with AI right now, it's comparable to where we were when the internet first, with the inception of the internet. No one knows how to utilize it. There's all these things that are now branched off from the internet. We're here now, right? So there's an opportunity to be able to have, I don't know, low-key bragging rights that something of this caliber, was built here in the center of downtown Stockton, right? By locals. And there's an opportunity to get Stockton on the map when it comes to tech, but now the uphill battle is people detaching themselves from what these huge conglomerates are doing with AI and realizing, this is something cool, it's something different, and people who know AI knows that this is something that's different for the community. But it's going to take some time, some patience on our end, and approaching it the same way I approached Huddle, right? The building blocks that we have with HuddleAI relate to the open walls and bones of Huddle Cowork here, right? Over the past 9 years I've been running this space, it was all about, okay, now we have the space, now the conversation is about, let's teach people about co-working now, because co-working wasn't a conversation back in 2014, we had to educate folks. So that's the stage we're in right now. We're educating folks on AI and that there's good AI out there, there's good code out there. We don't have to be afraid of it in the event if all of these parameters and are in place. And we want to make sure it's safe. We want to make sure you're protected, and we want to make sure that the earth is safe. And all of that can happen and start here in Stockton.
It's beautiful. It's really exciting having something tech, a tech startup basically, right here in downtown Stockton. And you were sharing you're looking for users. I'm just curious. So is HuddleAI, has it officially launched, or are you planning one for the future?
Yeah. So I think right now the call to action is users, and then we're also looking for developers and designers simultaneously. We have the basic format of HuddleAI, but for it to do what we want it to do for the entire world, of course, we're going to need developers and designers for that, and investors, right? So if there's anybody out there who wants to take a chance on this little dude from downtown Stockton and help us grow so that we can create jobs in our community in firms of tech, we're all ears and we're prepared for it.
Wonderful. So something being developed, you can be a part of it now. Do you have any job openings available at Huddle or HuddleAI by any chance, or volunteer opportunities?
Yeah, so at Huddle, we are looking for interns for the later part of the year. As far as hiring positions, we're open to all possibilities, right? It's forever. If someone comes to me and say, hey, I can do this for you, pay me to do it, cool.
There's a chance.
There's a chance. And if it works within our model and what we're trying to do, cool. As far as HuddleAI, the team is in place right now. We are looking for a marketing intern at the moment. And anyone who wants to rock with us, let us know. There might be some shares in it for you. But marketing, and then we're slowly just building our team out from there, because our biggest hurdle right now is that people don't know what they don't know. So just getting it out that we exist and in the right lingo and hitting the right people, that's the hugest hurdle right now. So if you're marketing out there and maybe there's some folks at UOP or Delta that want to join our team, let us know.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. Thanks for sharing more about HuddleAI. Can't wait to hear more about it as you guys continue to develop it and work on it. What a great opportunity for Stockton. And now I want to dive into one of your events that you have brought to downtown Stockton. So there's an event series called the LYTE, and you started it about 2 years ago, I believe. It takes place at Huddle the first Thursday of every month, so 110 North San Joaquin Street. But can you tell us all about the LYTE. It's such a cool event, but I want you to set the stage. Tell us all about it.
Man, I'll talk about where it started. It started with, you know, I was going to all these events at like Cast Iron and all these other places, and I was learning we have all of these talented musicians in our community. But whenever I went to an event, they were always like tucked in a corner somewhere. People were talking super loud. People weren't paying attention to them. I'm like, does anyone realize that the talent in this space right now? So I reached out to a guy named Dante Milano, a talented musician, a graduate of UOP, a Chicago native. And I reached out to see if he wanted to have coffee with me at Terra Coffee in Yosemite Street Village. And I'd seen him around a couple times, and we sat down, and I just did a brain vision dump on him about what I was thinking, right? And I already had a name for it. I want to call it the LYTE, and we chatted for 3 hours about it, right? And that was back in 2013. Oh, I mean 2000. I'm sorry.
2023.
2023. Yeah, there you go. 2023. And so we had an opportunity of hosting our first event, and there was probably like 12 people there here on the second floor, including the band, right? And it organically turned into a karaoke session where we were asking these talented musicians to play our favorite songs so that we can sing our favorite songs, and it was great fun. So Downtown and I, we chatted about it. I was like, that was some great vibes. Maybe that's how the LYTE should go, right? So for the first year, it was all word of mouth. We told those first group of people that came to the first session, it's like, hey, if you guys like what we had here, now you have a responsibility to tell folks what we just did here and invite them back, because I was super mysterious about it. And, I was like, hey, meet me at this address, no questions asked, just show up, right? And for the first year, it grew organically, just word of mouth. And then it got to the point to where it got too big, so we had to move it down to the first floor. And then when we moved it down to the first floor about a year ago, that's when we started utilizing the internet, the algorithm on Instagram and such. And since then, it's grown into this monthly thing that people look forward to. And for those of you who haven't experienced the LYTE before, it's a live jazz band open mic. There's these talented musicians that Dante curates and switches out. We have a local host rotation of folks who have their own gigs at either Hatch or Terra Coffee or are all over the city. We have live artists who are on rotation, from muralists to fine art, to tattoo artists, to anything you can think of. If something is inspiring to me and something that's new and fresh, we invite them to come share their light with us. We usually have food. We usually have like coffee and such. One of the things that we're proud of this event is that it's a dry event. Like, there's no alcohol or anything like that for many reasons. But the main reason is, we want to create a safe space free of anxiety, but at the same time, we want to prove to our community that you don't have to be drunk to have a good time. It's affordable. It's a donation to get in. The proceeds go directly to the band, and it's been such a cool event to host and to be a part of, and I'm honored to be able to do this with Dante. It's been such a great experience working with him and connecting with all of the most talented musicians here in Stockton, and hopefully this is another thing. We just celebrated 2 years, but I'm hoping that this is something that's sustainable going forward, and we find other community organizers that we can potentially pass the torch on to. But it's been great to be a safe space, past a decent hour in downtown Stockton for folks to come and be in community with. And it's just so pleasing to be able to just sit back as kind of like the older brother vibes and just watch all these young folks just have a good time and be safe. And Yeah, even though there is a lot of young folks, it's diverse generationally as well. We have like many decades who musicians here in Stockton who come and grace us with their presence, and we've gotten to the point to where we're getting some philanthropic donations from
Oh, wow.
some prominent jazz musicians in the area. Shout out to the Maxwells, and then the Universalist Church in Midtown Stockton have donated to us. It's been great, and so I want to just take this time to say thank you to everybody who's come and patroned us, and to those who have shared their light with our community. It's definitely one of those things that makes downtown Stockton so bright. I will say that we don't claim to, this is not a brand new thing. There are folks who paved the way in order for us to thrive. So shout out to Energy Collective, Jazzy, and all you guys, Queen. You guys have been rocking it out. I think they just celebrated their 8th or 9th anniversary. We're babies, toddlers. We've only been doing this for 2 years, So and then there's some other folks who do open mics too. I think Mundo and T, they host one at Terra Coffee. So if you're into that scene, or if you're looking for a cool space to share your light, we're not the only ones. All these other open mics are led by beautiful, heartfelt, intentional Stocktonians who just want to be catalysts for creating safe spaces for folks who just want to be around like-minded individuals. So shout out to all of y'all, creating safe spaces for our community.
Yeah, it's such a cool event, and you were so secretive in the beginning, and that was so cool. You did invite me one time, and I went up there, and I was like, whoa, like, what is this? Like, on the second floor of the building, like, there's jazz, there's cool lights, like, this is such a cool scene. So it's really, really amazing, and I'm glad you've been able to grow it, and now it's on the ground floor. So if you have never been to the LYTE, I do highly recommend it. It's just so fun, such a good energy. Everyone's kind of there just having a nice chill time, but sharing their art with everybody. So thank you, Matty, for organizing that. Can you share, why do you think this is so important for the artistic community, especially?
Oh man, never really thought about that, because it's not like there was a need for creative spaces, right? There's so many great creative spaces, regardless of what your medium is here in our community. This just happens to be something, that me and Dante wanted to create to, support our thriving arts community. Not to say something wasn't already happening. It was like I said earlier, it wasn't the intention to host an open mic. It just kind of organically happened, just like Huddle kind of organically turned into the space that it is today. So we knew we had the capacity and the autonomy just to create the space, but it was up to the community and the people who showed up to make it to what it is, So it is what it is because our community wanted it to become that, right? So I think, if I give any kind of advice to anybody who are organizers or who have creative spaces, like the Catalyst or Hatch, or there's the Right Place, or there's so many great organizations here in the community that are doing great stuff. Just let your folks who utilize your space tell you what you should do with the space, and just say yes until it's a no, right? And but yeah, it's as far as why it's important. I don't think it's more important than any other space. It is what it is, right? And hopefully by us creating this space, we inspire other folks to either want to get involved or collaborate or create a creative space that they find there's a pocket that's available in our community, So I'm available to help. I'm a resource. I can help and point you in the right direction. I'm an open book, it's not a secret. Anyone who's ever gotten information from me, they can just email me, call me, or just pop in, and we can talk about what the vision is. And either I have the capacity to help you, or I can definitely point you in the right direction or connect you with the right folks to help your vision come to fruition.
Awesome. And you shared there's all types of performers that come to the LYTE. So how can people sign up if they want to get on that list? They want to, be there.
Yeah, so we've done so many iterations of this list, right? And we found the most democratic and fair way to do it is to open up the list when the doors open at 8 p.m.
Ooh.
at each session. So creates a hype. There's a line out the door wanting to get a good spot, and it's been pretty successful. So if you want to get on the list and if you find the courage to share your light, show up before 8 o'clock, get in line, and hopefully you can make the list. The list fills up within the first 10 minutes of us opening the doors.
Wow.
Yeah, and on average, we have between 15 and 20 performers, which is a good chunk of an event, And then we usually have room for 2 featured artists. So there's a way to get on the list before everybody else, and that's if you'd like to be featured. It's $50 to perform in front of our crowd. You have the option of performing 3 songs or performing for no longer between 10 and 15 minutes. Just read the room and make sure you're not hogging the space up. But we'll share your information and on our platforms and stuff and get you out there. And but yeah, I mean it's fun. And there's sometimes we have featured artists and sometimes we don't, and it's kind of great because we usually have a DJ rotation that opens up the whole entire night. And then we lead into Dante and whoever he's gathered doing a quick little performance of what they've been working on, and then we invite musicians from the area to do a jam session, and then after the jam session, that's when we start the list. And on any given night, it usually doesn't end until about midnight or 1 a.m. or something like that. And the vibes are always immaculate and pure and safe and anxiety-free. And you just see all these cool individuals from Stockton, and it's a space for you to wear that outfit, that you've been wanting to wear, and it just come as you are in your sweats or come all dolled up, however, but it's a safe space for you to come as you are. But yeah, it's 8 o'clock, list opens up, and then, or you can just come and just experience the vibes and support your local creatives. So
beautiful. So check it out. First Thursdays right here, 110 North San Joaquin Street, the LYTE. So thank you, Matty, for summing up what that is. And I highly recommend coming if you have not seen it before. Okay, so speaking of events, you're involved in another. You've got so much going on, Matty. It's really good. So speaking of events, you are also involved in bringing Te Wha'a no Te Ori to Downtown Stockton. So this is a Tahitian festival, different direction from the LYTE, still arts inclined. But can you tell us all about that?
Yeah, so for those who have known me, for most of my life, know that my family and I have been perpetuators of the Tahitian culture, specifically dance, drumming, and singing, the performance arts aspect of it all for many, many years. We were fortunate enough to learn from Tahitian people who moved to Stockton in the 70s and 80s, and it's kind of been our safe outlet, growing up. So I mean, me creating safe outlets for other people was kind of in line with the spaces that I was a part of growing up, and it's a Tahitian dance festival. Our family and I, we've been hosting Te Wha'a no Te Ori, which stands for the Valley of Dance, because we're in the Central Valley, since 2018. We've hosted it in several different locations, at Delta, at Weston Ranch High School. We did an online version of it during COVID, but this year we're doing something a little different. It was a one-day event, and now it's grown to a 3-day extravaganza. We're going to be utilizing the University Plaza Hotel and the Adventist Health Arena the weekend of October 17th through the 19th next month. So a little bit about what this event entails. It's just a celebration of Tahitian dance. And we want to potentially utilize this celebration of Tahitian dance to be a pathway to kind of learn what other things are happening within the Polynesian culture. On Friday at Adventist Health Arena, we are hosting a solo competition that's going to be held in the outdoor courtyard all day. That evening, there'll be dance workshops. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be also doing solo finals that day, but we're also we're also implementing a group competition category. And these are groups that are from all over California. There's like hundreds of people that are drumming and singing live and are in their beautiful costumes. And these performances are on average about an hour long. And we're inviting not only the folks that are part of the Tahitian diaspora, but for folks in our community that are just looking for something cool to be able to do on the third weekend in October. Tickets are available now. You can get them at the box office, or you can get them at the I think either Event Itself or Stockton Live, I believe, is the site that you can go and get your tickets. But it's for everybody. And this is something that I was involved in before I started working at Huddle, and I low-key put it on hold. I wanted to figure out kind of like my place in my life and stuff. And as of recently, over the past 2 years, I've kind of gravitated back to it. And of course, 2 years later, now we're hosting this huge thing in downtown Stockton. Right. And I had the pleasure of spending 2 months in Tahiti over the summer, making one of my dreams come true that I had to put on hold back in 2016. But so for me to be able to do that again, I'm just filled with all this inspiration to perpetuate and shed light on the Tahitian dance culture specifically, while simultaneously being an advocate for downtown Stockton still. So this is just who I am. This is just along the lines of what I'm supposed to be doing. It feels right. One of the things I love about this is there's a support from our community. Thank you to all of our sponsors, the Ramus Foundation, the Downtown Stockton Alliance, and the Adventist Health Arena, Visit Stockton. Who else? There's so many great organizations that are helping us out and bringing this to fruition, and we're hoping to be able to bring this back every year going forward, just to get Stockton on the map in terms of this. Because last year when we hosted this, we had people from all over the world come and visit Stockton for a weekend, from Hawaii, from Tahiti, from Japan, from New Caledonia, from Australia, and Mexico. And so we're hoping to do that again and going forward, and just make this one of the biggest weekends in October every single year. So if you're interested in learning about the Tahitian culture and Tahitian dance specifically, and you're just looking for a cool thing to do that weekend, coming down and support us. Pre-sale tickets are pretty affordable, and they're still affordable day of. And and if hopefully this inspires you to maybe want to dance. There's several dance groups in the area who teach Tahitian dance and hula and different diasporas of the Polynesian culture, Samoan, Tongan. But this is just our way of giving back to the people in Tahiti who shared so much of their culture with us. And now just figuring out, okay, what's in our capacity in our wheelhouse to be able to say thank you and share with our own community. One of the things that is huge, the hugest thing about this, is the nonprofit that we're a part of that's hosting this, Matty Polynesian Cultural Preservation, which was started back in 2004, I believe, or 2014, one of those, right? It is to provide scholarships for local students, right, who are part of the Tahitian dance world. So proceeds of our profits will go to local, not just local, but people within the dance community who are continuing their education. And that's the highlight of it all. And then there was a portion, there was a time during this where we would raise money to fill backpacks for students in Tahiti to get them ready for the school year. And so the nonprofit is more education based, because we're teaching about the culture, but at the same time we wanted to support folks who are pursuing higher education and to the young budding minds in Tahiti, back in Tahiti. So lots of wheels turning, lots of planning. We've been planning this since the beginning of 2024. It's huge. It's the biggest thing my family has ever done. It's the biggest thing I've ever done. So all the huge things that we just talked about in this past hour, and for me to say this is the biggest thing that I've done, it's insane. We're excited.
It's huge.
It's huge. All the feelings, and we're just hoping everybody comes out and supports. And if you want to donate. We're taking donations still if you want to support in that way, or we're looking for volunteers, we're looking for vendors. And you can find all of that at mateiria.org or Moteori on Instagram. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot going on, and I'm really excited for that weekend. And I'm really hoping the folks in our community come and support and maybe fall in love with it just as I did as a child. So
yeah, it's going to be such a cool event. I'm so excited, and I can't believe that it's going to be 3 days. So this is so cool that you've made it 3 days. And are you still taking competitor applications for the dance?
So for the solo applications are still open, and they'll be open until the 10th of October. So if you're a soloist, we have, and if you're a new soloist, we have 2 different divisions. We have a beginner category, and we have actually 3 divisions. A beginner category, a advanced category, and then we also have a masterclass category. So for those who are new to Tahitian dance and you want to experience this, you're more than welcome to do that in our beginner category. For those of you who are seasoned dancers, we have an advanced category for those who have placed and have been dancing for years. And then we have a special category called Masterclass for those who have taken Best Dancer and overall in different competitions. And the winners of that category will win a free ticket to Tahiti for a competition that's in November called Odi Tahiti Nui International Championships, for them to compete to be the best dancer in the world. That's been going on for about, I want to say, 10 years now. And I'm proud to say the first year they had the international competition, my younger sister, Melanie, competed in that competition, and she was the first international winner. And she competed against folks from all over Tahiti, Taiwan, Australia, Mexico, Japan. So I'm proud to say that my baby sister was the first one, right? And so now that's kind of a way of we were to stay connected to that competition and to that space they create in Tahiti, to create a pathway for folks within our own community to go and compete there as well. So there's a lot of a competitive aspect to it, but there's many vendors, there's artisans. We plan on doing costume workshops for the artists in the community who want to learn about weaving or the history of the Tahitian culture, and even discussions about the American diaspora and why we fell in love with Tahitian culture in the 70s and 80s. So a lot of different wheels turning here for this weekend.
It's so exciting, and such a nice crossover, a cool celebration of Polynesian culture, and really going to be a jewel for downtown Stockton. What impact are you hoping for this event to have on downtown? And you said it's going to be a yearly thing, sounds like, so that's amazing.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the economic development of downtown, and bringing dollars into our community, the contributing to the narrative that Stockton being the most diverse city in America and wanting to prove why we are. Shedding a light on the different dance schools within our area who are always taking new students, to show appreciation for the culture, because we are essentially guests of this culture. I'm not of Tahitian descent. I'm of Black and Filipino descent, but I just happen to gravitate towards this and become an ambassador for it. And to, shed light on that there's a lot of cool things to do here in Stockton. And to support these huge spaces, these huge venues that we have in the beautiful area of downtown with the water and the trees and the skyline and stuff. So many things. And we're hoping that, our model on how we are hosting things and doing a joint hotel and Adventist Health Arena kind of extravaganza inspires other folks within our own community to leverage these beautiful venues that we have in downtown. So
definitely, yeah. Hopefully they do the same, and so I will be at that event. I hope everyone else goes too. Come and check it out. Watch some really fun dancing. Yeah. Okay, so thanks for explaining the Tahitian Festival event, and we're coming down towards the end of my questions. So you are a member of the Downtown Stockton Alliance board. Yeah. So can you tell me what motivated you to join the DSA board, and what DSA programs or projects do you think have had the biggest impact on downtown Stockton?
Man, so cumulatively, I've been on the board for about maybe 6 years, 7 years. I took a little bit of a break. I've been part of the board for during a time where I've seen a lot of changes. I was part of the team that hired the current executive director, who's doing awesome. Shout out to Mike Hoover and the team and Sharice and all you guys. It's just been an honor. It's been an honor to have a seat at the table with stakeholders in the community. There's some folks who've been on the board for a really long time, and just be the representation of the city and the county on there, the building owners here, the people who live in downtown. But the opportunity to join the board kind of organically presented itself. It was needed. There were seats to fill. I was available. It was something new to me. Out of all the boards that I'm on, this is the first board I ever joined.
Oh.
At LinkedIn, I'm like on a bajillion of them, but it's been a pleasure, kind of seeing the ins and outs of downtown and how it runs and how we're able to provide the services that we provide as a nonprofit organization. But there's so many great events that the DSA has put on over the years that I'm just so proud of. I mean, just the first thing that's coming to mind is like Chanhua, and kind of like paying homage to our Chinese American history there and the mosaic that's there. What else? Talk to downtown, being able to have great conversations like this with folks in the community. It's crazy that it took 70 episodes for me to finally come on here. What else? I just seen the different things that the Downtown Stockton Alliance has supported, from Jazz and the Plaz. I loved that name back then. But yeah, I love the vision for what Mike has had for beautifying the community, which is plants and having the Peace Garden there, the Diversity Plaza, all the murals that are in downtown Stockton, the support for all of the restaurants that are down here, the support for all of the affordable housing that's here, and even the market rate housing that's here, downtown Stockton's support for all the local organizations who are hosting events here, the partnership with Visit Stockton on Flavor Fest, and so many things, right? And for Downtown Stockton, the Alliance to be attached to all of those things, there's a reason why we've all been a part of it for so long, because A, we love Stockton, we love downtown, B, we see its potential, and C, it's just great seeing all these cool things happen in the center of the heart of our city. So, and I already feel there's so much more to come, right? And I love how the Alliance is always finding creative ways to get people to come down here, spend their money, spend their time here, or even take that leap of faith to build some roots down here, whether it be professionally, organizationally, or actually living down here. So I'm hoping I can I can be a part of this for the next 5 to 10 years and see it grow, or yeah, I'm confident it will, but yeah, there's so many to name. We'll be on here for a long time to talk about everything the DSA and how it's supported downtown.
Thank you. Thanks for highlighting some of the projects. And yeah, it just seems like downtown has really big momentum right now. So, let's just see where it takes us. It seems like there's a lot going on. My last group of questions. So we've talked all about lots of wonderful projects you have worked on, organizations you're working with. So my last little set of questions is just about downtown Stockton itself. So are you ready?
Give it to me. Yeah.
Okay. So if you could sum it up, what do you love about downtown Stockton?
Man, I love downtown Stockton's history. I love how it looks aesthetically. I love the energy that's here. The energy downtown is thick, right? Like for those of you who are energy sensitive, like you can walk downtown and like, okay, this is heavy out here, right? It's not for the faint of heart, right? There are its challenges and ups and downs and stuff, but the folks who have been part of downtown for the past 10, 15 years, or even some of the historic businesses in downtown that have been open for 50 plus, It takes a sort of gumption, some moxie, some panache to like keep going. It's not an easy feat down here, working here in any capacity. But it's extremely rewarding to be able to say that you're part of something special here in downtown Stockton. One of the things I love doing whenever I have the time to do it is just like taking a stroll, looking up, looking at the art that's all over, looking at the different types of people who are downtown, taking in the history, or back in the day when I was working for an organization that had access to a lot of the vacant buildings, going inside and just kind of smelling it and looking up and experiencing the architecture, and just realizing, like, dang, like all of this stuff was here before us and it's going to be here after us. What are we going to do here in the community while we're here, right? But yeah, it's a loaded question, because there's so many things I love about it. I've always been drawn to it. I've always believed in it, right? And I mean, I was living here in downtown Stockton when no one was, and we were part of Huddle when no one knew what a co-working space was, right? And fast forward to 2025, think about all the cool things that have happened over the past 10 years that are still thriving, and that are on deck to open or thrive. There's all these cool events that are happening. So, short answer, too much. And I love
a lot to love.
A lot to love. Yeah.
Okay. And so can you point out maybe a couple of gems that you think people don't know about in downtown, but they should know?
Man. Well, the first thing I think of is food, right? So Xochimilco's is the Mexican restaurant that I grew up on as a child. I have, fond memories of my family going there when they had the jukebox at each table, and me and my younger sister would fight over what song to play. And so that's the first thing that comes to mind. And then I just love the history about this. When you take a deep dive about the history of Stockton in general and what we used to be, back in the day, this thriving most inland port. I think that a lot of that energy is still here and just waiting to be reawakened. And then lastly, I got to talk about the art. There's the creative force that is downtown Stockton, from the murals to the events that happen, to the events that happen at Hatch Workshop, to the events, just to the random unhoused person singing a song on a corner, I think that adds to the artistic landscape of it all, to places like Papa Herbs and Cast Iron, who are consistently changing their menu and sharing their creativity and light in that capacity. It's whenever you ask me a question like that, I can't just pin it down to one thing. There's so many things that make it special, and that for those who have a stigma about downtown and what they think it is, maybe they have a negative experience they've had in the past. I encourage you and I urge you to give us another chance, right? And to check out what's going on here, spend money at the restaurants, have a conversation with the owners of these places, just have a conversation of like, what was your experience like here in downtown, and maybe why you haven't come back in a couple of years, right? And then hopefully, if you give us a chance to kind of change that experience and for you, then maybe you want to bring more people down here the next time, right? We can't do a billboard, we can't do a commercial of downtown. It's about you coming down here and just giving it a chance and seeing why downtown is the way it is, to see why folks like me have chosen to continue this work in downtown for almost a decade, right? And because there's something here, right? And so I urge people, if you're an artist, if you're a creative, if you want to try good food, if you want to come down here and just walk around, or if you're in a run club or something like that, downtown Stockton is perfect for it. And But just like downtown Stockton, just like Stockton is what you make it, right? We're not one of those picturesque. I mean, we're beautiful. We're not one of those picturesque cities that like, where the beauty falls in your lap. It is something you have to search for. If you have the type of capacity to where you're visionary, but at the same time you have the wherewithal to make things come to fruition and make something out of nothing, then downtown Stockton is for you.
Perfect. Thank you for highlighting some of our restaurants, highlighting the fact that we have a lot of art in downtown. And you're right, there's so much here. And once you are here and you do experience it, I think your perception can change, once you're kind of actually in it.
Yeah, you're right.
So do you have maybe a favorite mural that you can share in case people are unaware of the art downtown?
I mean, I love all of them, but the one that means the most to me is the one that's on the side of our building, done by a homie, Alex Swalto, local artist, Stocktonian. It means so much because of what it represents. It represents, a true depiction of all the work we've been doing for the past couple of years. For those who have seen it, you'll notice the Alex's signature mine as the sun. You see this nest with all these birds in the sky, right? And as you're driving, south on San Joaquin around the roundabout, it's just this like, there's nothing like it, right?
Yeah.
And I love seeing little kids like look up it and go, "Mommy, look, that's so cool," or something, right? But I love what it represents. You notice, what do birds do? They fly, they travel to different places, right? They migrate, right? And one of the things I love that Alex did is that he did some research about which birds are actually native to our region, right?
Oh, cool.
And then he also has birds on there that are migrants that come from different regions, right? But they're all working together to build this nest, right? And the depiction of the motion of that, the chain connected to this mine that serves as the sun, there's this motion of it rising, right? So it's like the diversity of our community is coming together to build a community. And when we do that, we're rising up together, right? And so I get to see that every single day as a reminder of the work we've actually done as a community and why it's so important to keep going. That's the reason why that's my favorite one, and thank you to the DSA, for the help with that and the sponsorship of that, and I just love seeing it in people's photos, the fact that it's right next to the cast iron, so the people that go and have some great food there get to look up at that piece, and hopefully for those who are watching and are always curious about what that mural meant, that's it. You can always tap me on the shoulder and be like, "Hey, Matt, what's this mural mean?" Or you can reach out to Alex, and be like, "Alex, what does this mean?" But out of all of them, because there's some beautiful ones here, it has to be that one that's on the side of our building, and maybe one of these days, maybe we can do like a mural walk or something like that. But there's some really great pieces in downtown that are hidden, and then some that you can see from the freeway. Shout out Jasmine, Delapa, shout out B Mike. That's my favorite one.
Oh, that's really cool. And I did not know the origin, the story behind it. So thank you for explaining that. It makes a lot of sense. And it's a beautiful representation of kind of what Stockton is. I love that. I really love that. Thank you, Matty. So I think one of my last questions for you is, what do you think are downtown's biggest opportunities moving forward? And where would you like to see downtown Stockton in the next 5 years?
Man,
Because you've been here for some time, and you've seen a lot.
I've seen a lot, I would say the first thing is for folks to realize, I mean, the biggest opportunity is I'm always going to say parking, right? And there's always been like an education of folks for folks to learn like how downtown Stockton works. It's not like any other area of Stockton where, we try to find the closest parking to the door, right? Like downtown Stockton is a horse of different colors. It's a monster. And I think it's just education. It's like, no, if you're going to come down to downtown Stockton during a day, there's street parking, there's different metered parking, there's Park Mobile, there's several LAS garages and stuff for you to be able to park. And then there's other ways to get to downtown Stockton as well. If it's walking, riding a bike, which I do everywhere, taking an Uber or Lyft, or taking public transportation, like our beautiful RTD buses. I had the pleasure of riding the bus the other day for $1.50, and it was the most pleasant experience ever. I'm like, whoa, like this is nice. And I saw like older folks riding it. I mean, there's security on there for those who are worried about safety. There was actually 2 security guards on the bus, which is awesome for those who are worried about safety. But I would just say, like, parking was usually a deterrent for people to come downtown. So, I mean, yes, we can eliminate it, but I mean, that'll take some time and some effort. But in the meantime, it's all about just education and learning that, like, okay, if I'm going to go during the day, this is what it's going to be. But past 6 p.m., street parking is free, right? So come eat past at least an hour. Or for those of you who work in downtown Stockton, maybe go grab a beer, if so you can beat traffic at Cast Iron or Fed or something like that. I'm sorry, I'm promoting drinking and driving. Don't do that. But like,
don't do that. Yeah. Wait 2 or 3 hours. Have dinner.
Food and use substance. Yeah. And because one of the big things is making sure that people like stay past 5 p.m. There's a lot of people who work for the county and work for the city and work for local government. And I know a lot of people don't live here in Stockton, so I want to make sure, you're making money here. Maybe you should spend money here. It would be nice, specifically downtown and Midtown and Miracle Mile and all that, Brookside, Lincoln Center, everywhere, right? Another opportunity is, I would say, market rate housing. I see all these beautiful affordable housings going up, which was great. There was a time where it was needed, and now we're finally seeing that come to fruition. And over maybe the past year or so, now we're seeing some market rate housing here come in downtown Stockton. I'm all about a mixture of both. I'm all about the balance, right? I would love to live in downtown Stockton again, and be able to call downtown Stockton my home. I just can't do that right now, because of financial situations, right? But I think, well, that was always part of the narrative. Is like as more people live and move and live downtown, those are the people who are going to be in walking distance to all of these restaurants and shops and events and stuff. So we're slowly seeing that happen with the new development on Minor and folks moving into the Medici Artist Lofts and then 500 East Main and all of that. So it's happening. I'm not saying it's not happening, but I know slow and steady wins the race. Happen to be a patient guy. So I'm hopefully within the next 5 years, we'd see more people calling downtown Stockton home and being able to say, oh, I just walked here, I live up the road, or something like that, right? But I would say that's the biggest, in my eyes, the 2 biggest opportunities, parking and more cool places for people to live.
100% agree.
You asked me about like the future too, right? Like,
yeah. What do you see? Where do you see downtown going? What would you love to see?
Man, so many things, right? I would love to see, more sold out events at the arena, more people utilizing our waterways, more people utilizing public transportation, our restaurants being filled here on a regular basis, more people coming and supporting the local creative events that are happening in downtown Stockton, more cool, eccentric, eclectic businesses, coming into some of the vacant spaces in downtown, cool everyday people, regular people just living in downtown and calling it home, man. Yeah, just thrive. I just want to be just as busy as I see it at lunchtime and in the morning in downtown Stockton. I would love to see that, like between 7 and 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. I think that'd be rad. Or, as I'm driving on the crosstown and I look downtown, I just see all of these windows lit up in these vacant buildings because people are living in there, and maybe some of these rooftops become compliant to maybe have like rooftop gatherings, and to be able to see that from the freeway. I would love to see our disinvested and unhoused community, have a safe place to be able to hang out and are taken care of. Our streets have been super clean these past couple of years, but maybe to see more life and more monuments, more plants, flowers, more arts, less cars, more walkable, and maybe one day, Weber Avenue becomes walkable only and no cars are allowed on it. Market Street is in the Bay Area, and I just want to just see more people out and about, just walking around and just enjoying the energy that downtown Stockton has to offer. So
beautiful! What a beautiful vision! Downtown activated, fully activated, fully thriving.
Yeah, I love it.
Fully.
And we're there.
That would be beautiful. We definitely are. We're ramping up. We're getting there. All right. So we've talked about a lot today. So thank you for going into all of your projects, from Huddle Cowork, HuddleAI, the LYTE, Te Whāano Te Ori, and now talking about just your involvement on the DSA board in downtown Stockton. Out of all the great work that you have done so far, which project or program are you the most proud of?
I have to say Huddle. It was cool to kind of the timing and the stars being aligned for me to be able to spearhead and kind of be the visionary of the space, to kind of get this torch handed off to me from Tim. It makes me think of him even more now. I hope he's proud of the work we've done here. I won't be able to celebrate with everybody this weekend because I'll be out of town, but I have to say Huddle, and the work we've done here, and I'm just really hoping we've created a good foundation for this space to sustain itself 20, 30, 50 years in the future. It's my baby.
Awesome. Yeah, that is something to be proud of, and it already has made such a difference to downtown Stockton. I think Huddle was one of those kind of key catalysts of the newer businesses that are here. So it's had a huge impact. So you should be proud of it.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Proud of it. Thank you.
So how can people get in touch with you if they have any questions for you about all the cool things that you talked about today?
Yeah, a lot of you follow me on Instagram. Just send me a DM. But you can email me here at Huddle, hello@huddlecowork.net. You can find me on LinkedIn. My name's pretty easy to find on there. I'm pretty easy to find, but I will say my phone's on DND all the time because of all of that access. For those of you who've reached out over the past couple of weeks, I'm sorry if I got back to you. Life has been crazy, but yeah, feel free to reach out on any of the social media platforms, and then to the select few of you who have my number, for to text me.
There you go. Well, wonderful. Thank you, Matty, for answering all of my questions today, and just for going into all the cool work that you've been doing, because you really are a true advocate for downtown Stockton. You can just see it in everything that you've been doing. And I'm just happy that you're able to be our guest today. So let me see if there are any audience questions. Are you ready for that? Do you need a breath?
Hopefully there's none, but yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Let's see what we got. All right. The first one is a comment. This is from Shayna Harper, just saying, top of the morning, Stockton. Top of the morning to you. Thank you. This is from Michael Huber on Facebook. He says, thanks for all you do for downtown Stockton, Matty.
Aww, thanks. Thanks, Mike.
So Mike also has a question. He wants to know, what new projects are you working on?
Oh my God.
Is there anything that we didn't talk about?
Let me get through these first, and then I'll. My goal is to, like, after October, is to rest a bit, just focus on HuddleAI, and just be consistent with the light and just live a chill life until the next project organically presents itself. I do want to do some more traveling. I'm going to have some travel plans with my family to go visit my motherland, which is the Philippines, next summer, which reminds me I have to reach out to my family about that. And then maybe possibly going back to Tahiti next summer. And it's all about just living like a quiet, like simple life, because my life outside of the walls in which I live and outside of my personal private life, it's pretty loud and huge. But but just I labeled all the big ones on this podcast. Hopefully it's just chill after that. So
kind of keeping consistent for now.
Yeah, wonderful. Consistency is key. Slow and steady wins the race. So.
Thanks,
Not
Mike.
rush.
No. Okay, this is all right. I've got a comment from Andy Nguyen. Comment is on YouTube. I got to experience the LYTE last month and it was good. I hope more people can go next month to dance and chill there.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, thanks, Andy. It's great to meet you, and for you to come down and check out the LYTE and kind of grab some footage and post it out there. So thank you so much.
Very awesome. And Andy has another comment. He says the Tahitian festival seems new and fun, so definitely something to go to next month. Agreed.
Thanks, Andy.
All right. So Nate Knott has made a comment on Facebook. There you go. He's made a comment. Super and comprehensive vision. I think he's talking about your view for downtown.
Must say, like, for those of you who don't know my connection to Nate, like, he was my communications teacher in high school. Like, he was the one I turned to. I did like the morning announcements at Edison when I went there, and so he's known me since I was a teenager. And then he also spearheads the Downtown Comeback Club. That if you're the roster of emails that are on that email list, like, whenever I need to know someone's email, I go to his
exactly.
There it is. But if you're working on any cool projects, I encourage you to reach out to Nate of the Downtown Comeback Club. It's been going on for, I think, 20-something years or something like that. And it's all about, creating a space to share what's out there while simultaneously, supporting the local restaurant that they have it at. I think it's every month or something like that. So thanks, Nate, Mr. Knott.
I know he was my guest last month, and it's every Thursday, so check it out. I think we have the details here in a little ticker if you guys are interested in checking out the Downtown Comeback Club to learn, what's new in downtown Stockton. All right, let's see. So let's go with this comment for the last one. This is from Johnny Palacios on Facebook saying, Downtown Stockton is lucky to have you, Matty. We need more like you.
Thanks, Johnny.
Oh, thank you, Johnny. Okay, I don't see any other questions at the moment. So I will just take this time to remind everyone again that this video, it has been streaming live to YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, where we are at Downtown Stockton. So please share the video. If anyone wants to learn all the cool stuff that Matty's working on, all the cool stuff going on in downtown, please share it, like the video, and subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't already. And before we close out, I want to ask you, Matty, is there anything that you would like to share with the viewers before we close out? Anything we didn't talk about, or just anything that you want people to know about downtown Stockton or the work that you do?
Yeah, it's like, folks like me, community organizers, we all love doing this, but there's always a why, right? So I just want to encompass everything that we've talked about today and share that, like, what I want people to really understand is that everything I do, whether it's with the arts, community building, or even tech, it's all connected by the same heartbeat. My love for Stockton and a belief in what we can build together. None of this work is about me alone. Never has been. I'm just a conduit, right? It's about creating spaces where people feel seen, supported, and inspired to bring their best selves forward. If there's a call to action in all of this, it's this. To show up for Stockton, come downtown, support local businesses, come to events, invest your time, your energy, your creativity right here in the heart of our city. And don't wait for someone else to make the change you want to see. Obama had it right, be the change. You are Stockton. We are Stockton, and together we can write a different story for the city, one that reflects our resilience, our culture, and our dreams. So,
Beautiful, beautiful words. Oh, go ahead.
We're beautiful. It's amazing.
Yeah. And I think that those are words that you really live by, Matty, and you can just see it. Look at all the stuff you've tried to do, got off the ground. You're really in it, in the trenches every day doing the work. So I just want to say thank you to you, Matty, for all that you have done for Downtown Stockton. Thank you for being who you are, just a wonderful member of our community. And thank you for your time today. So with that, I will just say thank you, viewers, for tuning in. Hopefully you learned something cool about something new going on here in Downtown Stockton. And any last thoughts before we close out, Matty?
Thank you so much, Courtney, for having me. It's been a pleasure to be in each other's orbit. I can't remember. You've always been here. Like when I think about it, I can't remember the day where I'm like, oh, this is Courtney, she's new. Like you just always been a part of this, right? So thank you for everything you've done for Downtown Stockton and the DSA. And I look forward to continuing this work with you in the future. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. And with that, thanks everybody, and have a great day downtown.